Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, April the 7th, 2025. Well, today's show was so. Wasn't all that. But anyway, let's dive into it. Lucky and Kristina. Kristina, I'm going to use the word is a witch. Change the W for B. Okay. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Change, I got a little eyelash almost fell in my eye, y'all. Let me see if I can get that out of there. Change the W for a B. First, she goes straight into it's all Ava's fault. She, and like you said, wait, what? Kristina, no, you are not going to shift the blame to Ava. You did this. You need to pay for this. You almost killed two innocent people. Elizabeth, the mother of my child, or children, what he may have said child, uh, was one of them. I know. Okay, I know. I wasn't when I left there. I was so upset. I wasn't in my right mind. I went down to the garage, and somebody must have left some wire cutters. And before I know it, I was just cutting wires, and I cut the brake wire. And no, soon as I came to my right mind, you saw me. Soon as I got to Charlie's, I came to my right mind and I raced back to try to make it right, to try to fix it. I was trying to fix it. He goes, well, you were too late, Kristina. Now, one of the things he should have said, how were you gonna fix it? With a piece of tape? How is she gonna fix cut brake lines? That's what I want to know. That's BS. So he says, no, you need to go to Elizabeth and apologize to her for almost killing her. But no, wait. Okay, I can't. He goes, no, you need to pay. And so he says, look, okay, I have a way that you'll pay as little consequences as possible. Go to your mother. Tell your mother what you did. She'll probably get you plead out. And she goes, no, my mother can't know. My mother can't know. And Molly can't know. Molly can't know at all. We're just getting into a good place. And see, everything is about how telling the truth would inconvenience her. That's why I said she's a witch would it be, right? And so she goes, let me, I mean, Lucky, please. Because he goes, if you don't, I will. Okay, please, just hear me out. And if you want to turn me in after you hear me out, so be it. And I said, oh, she's going to play the guilt. So then she brings up her father. Ava found out something about him medically that it cannot get out. It can't get out. And she was she told me she was gonna blackmail him into getting full custody of Avery. And he goes, okay, because if it got out, what it would make him look weak and his whole family would be in jeopardy. See, Lucky knows the drill. She goes, yes. So and then she was talking about Morgan and Adela, and then she even said that Michael getting burned was my father's fault. And I just lost it. Just lost it. Molly has lost so much. Lucky. My mother has lost so much. We lost Sam. We lost my baby. Molly could, if she found out this, I don't know what she would do. Lucky should have looked at her and said, see, Kristina, all the more reason to think about someone other than yourself. All these reasons she gave all existed before she went to Ava's, all existed before she cut the brake lines. But all those people and all those reasons were not enough for Kristina not to do what she did. And look, I'm sick of her getting away with stuff like this. Sick of her. Just like truth be told, I'm sick of Ava getting away with the things that she does. I'm sick of both of those. Both, right? So, needless to say, Ava, Lucky ends up saying, okay, Elizabeth's going to be fine. Rick's going to be okay. Okay. So, really, doesn't serve any good for you to go to jail, to prison for this, for attempted murder. And she goes, okay, fine. I won't say anything. Really? Really? Are you sure? Which would it be? You were just telling him all the reasons not to. And now that he says, okay, I won't, are you sure? Because I don't want you to do this because of me. As it is, she looked at Lucky in his face and she goes, you know, you were the one that told me to leave the scene of the crime anyway. And that's when I never would have changed my mind, because he hadn't changed his mind when she told him that. He said, he goes, that's when I didn't know that you almost killed Elizabeth, that I told you to leave the scene. But Lucky, it still was the wrong call. Whether it was Rick in the car, Elizabeth in the car, your son Aiden in the back seat. You see, one person was enough for you not to have told Kristina to leave the scene of the crime. One person was enough. But you saw it was Rick, Lucky. And you can't stand Rick because of Elizabeth, Lucky. See, you were wrong too. You want Kristina to go tell the truth, then you do. You too. Both you go too, because you did. You told her to leave the scene of a crime. You knew what she had done. Have you gone and told anybody? So there you have it. Lucky. So anyway, Kristina ends up texting Molly and Alexis saying, come to the chapel. And this witch would a be tells Molly, and they're like, Kristina, have you been here this whole time? Yes, yes, because I've just been thinking. Molly, I owe you an apology. I'm so sorry, Molly. And she hugs her. Molly's like, for what? For not considering your feelings. I was so consumed in my own grief. You lost a baby too. We both lost our baby. And Molly's like, and I was so consumed in my grief, I couldn't even fathom how much you were grieving the loss of Sam, just like I'm grieving the loss of Sam. It was selfish of me, Molly. Selfish. And I'm so, so sorry. She's looking almost like, is the stupid chick buying it? See, you can tell Molly anything, and when she's vulnerable, she's gonna believe you. She's vulnerable. Oh, heck yeah. So Alexis was like, oh, I've been waiting for you two to get right here at this moment. Alexis, how much do you know your daughter? How much do you know Kristina? Because Molly almost losing her dad would not make Kristina come to Jesus moment. It wouldn't. It Kristina only acts like this when she's done something. See, mothers know their children. Alexis should know that about Kristina. So, oh, the Davis girls. Oh, they got to do a Davis girl hug. And I was like, oh my God, this ain't going to last too long. And then when Alexis is going to be hurt, but Molly, when she finds out, oh, the wrath of her is going to be phenomenal. She'll probably go to the ADA, who's filling in for Robert Scorpio, right? She's going to go to her probably and tell on her sister herself, period. Because that ADA is gunning. She wants somebody, and she wants somebody bad. Okay? So I can't wait for that reckoning. Ava goes to Rick because she goes to Elizabeth. And Elizabeth couldn't give her any information. Elizabeth's like, no, I mean, we probably hit some black ice. It's still out this time of the year. We went a different route to avoid traffic. Thank goodness they weren't in traffic because the brakes, they would have either ran a red light and hit somebody, right? So Alexis ended up leaving. Lucas was in there with Elizabeth, right? And Lucas is like, what was that about? And Elizabeth's like, Ava. I said Alexis. Ava. She goes, Ava is marking her territory. and Lucas looks at Elizabeth and says, and are you jealous? She goes, no, please. She said, look, Rick has a really good side to him. He really does. But Rick also has a very dark side to him that is more dominant than the good in him. She says, now, if Rick could embrace his good side and let that take over, I could see a world where I could go for Rick again. But that's not going to happen. And so Lucas says, well, he and Ava are pretty close. He goes, yeah. She goes, yeah. She goes, he and Ava feed off each other. That dark side, that darkness. She says, nah, stay away from Rick. She's like, no, right? So Ava comes in and she tells Rick, the mechanic told me at the tow yard that your brake lines were cut. He goes, what? She goes, somebody tried to kill you, Rick. And he goes, well, Sonny comes to mind. That's the first person that comes to my mind. He said, but you know what? No. Cutting my brakes, that's not Sonny's style. It's not his style. She goes, but you know what, Rick? Your car was in my spot. And our cars look almost identical. See, now this is the first time they said that. Our cars look almost identical. He goes, ooh, so that meant what? Sonny was trying to kill you? And Ava looked at Rick and she goes, no. She goes, you want to know why? Sonny would never risk Avery being in my car. Sonny would not do that. So she looked at Rick. She goes, but we both know who would. And he looked at her and she looked at him. And one of them or both of them at the same time said, Kristina. So then somehow Ava, she probably called the building she lives in and told them to give her access to the cameras in the parking garage. And or some buildings give you access to cameras, especially if it's pointing to your property. Some of them do. A lot of them do out here, actually. So she's showing him on the phone. She goes, okay, here it is. Here it is. Look, there she is. Kristina's down in the parking lot, showing her. Camera showing her. And look, she's looking in the direction of my car. She's looking at my car. I guess the cameras for some reason aren't showing Ava's car because guess what? Well, that's some crappy cameras. If I'm gonna look at something, I want to look at my car, not the area where my car isn't, right? Hallway. Why would I want to see that? But it's showing the utility card. She goes, look, look. She's picking up a pair of wire cutters. It showed all that. Yeah. So he goes, why that little? Okay, truce be damned. Oh no, no, no. It's time for Alexis and Sonny to see Kristina for who she really is. Give me my phone. He's like, give me my phone over there. I'm calling the cops so they can arrest Kristina and haul her out in handcuffs. Right? So Ava looks at him. No, 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 no. Now hold on, Uncle Rick. Let's not be too hasty. And she looks at him and he looks at her, right? See, there we go. Remember what Elizabeth said? Those two are alike with that dark side, right? And he's looking at Ava like, ooh, do I smell a blackmailing? In the works? What you got cooking, Ava? What you got cooking? Because I want to see if I want to go along with it. Because if it deals with hurting my brother, I want to. So Rick is going to hear her out, and what she's going to say is, no, this is going to get me full custody of my daughter. And what Rick is going to say is, what's in that for me? I'm the one in this hospital bed. I'm the one that needs some retribution, Ava. So she's going to come up with something. Well, Rick, look, this is blah, blah, blah. This will work for you too. And we'll see what they both come up with. Either way, they're going to try to put the screws to Sonny, right? But what Ava, I know her, and you know her. What Ava's going to do the next time she sees Kristina, she's going to tell her she knows. I 100% know she is. And Kristina's going to be, I don't know what you're talking about. She's going to say, oh, girlfriend, please. It's all on camera. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you, Kristina, for giving me all the ammunition I need to get my daughter. Right? Yeah, Kristina. So anyway, we have Lucky. Lucky goes to the tow yard and he tells the guy, my girlfriend was in a car crash, the other day, and her wallet was still left in that car. Can I look in the car and get her wallet for her? And he goes, oh, oh yeah, no, you know what? And he looks through the paper. That car has already been crushed. It's been demolitioned. And Lucky goes, oh, really? He goes, yeah, sorry, her wallet is gone now. So Lucky says, oh, okay, I'll tell her. I thought the guy was going to say, the other woman came in just yesterday before it was crushed. And, she had me give it the once over. See, Lucky's thinking Kristina's secret is safe. If the car is crushed, no one will find out the brakes were cut. Right? So Lucky turns around after to leave the guy's office and he was like, yes, no, Lucky, no. Because now you're going to find out Ava knows and Rick knows. You're going to find that out. Because like I said, Ava's probably going to tell Kristina. Kristina going to run right straight to Lucky. What do I do, Lucky? What do I do? No, no, absolutely not. Right? So uh Jason, Brennan comes over to Jason's house, but I'm going to back it up. When Josselyn walks in, Jason is there, talking to Carly. And Jason, lets Josselyn talk to Carly. So she jams Carly up because Carly says, "Let me hear about Easter Island. Let me hear about Easter Island." She goes, "Oh, we'll get to that, Mom. But first, I want to know about how Jack Brennan almost got you killed." Josselyn, no, listen. And Jason goes, "I'll let you two talk." And Josselyn says, "Oh, no, no, no. Don't you go nowhere. Because my mother can't lie to me if you're here." And I'm thinking, why can't she? Carly lie all the time. Well, what'll happen is if she tells a lie and Josselyn looks at Jason and says, "Is that true? Is that what you know?" Jason will say, "Nope, that's not how I heard." That's the only way to keep Carly honest, because on her own, she'll still lie in front of Jason. Get out of here. you know, Josselyn. So anyway, they get through whatever. Carly's I know what I'm doing and blah blah blah. Josselyn's just whatever, Mom. I can't tell you what to do. You're gonna do what you want to do anyway. So she goes, "Now can I finally hear about Easter Island?" So Josselyn takes out her phone and she's showing all these pictures. She goes, "Wow, that is so beautiful." And she's flipping. She goes, "Josselyn, why aren't you in any of these pictures?" Bingo, hello. So Josselyn says, "Because it's a class project, Mom. These weren't, I wasn't taking pictures for the gram." Hmm. You want to know where that didn't ring true? This is not a school cell phone. This is still your personal cell phone. If you're going to take pictures for a project, boom, boom, this is for my project. The next one is a selfie of me with the mountain behind me, beautiful island. You know, Josselyn is a millennial. Or actually, no, Josselyn is a Gen Zer. Okay. They all off in their own selfies. Please hit me with that one, right? So Jason's just looking at her and he goes, "Oh, goodness, I've been there. Oh, I love this spot." And Josselyn looked at Jason. She goes, "You've been to Easter Island?" He said, "Yes, I have." "Have you been on blah, blah, blah trail?" And Josselyn's like, "Yeah, yeah." "When were you in Easter Island?" He said, "During my time away from Port Charles." So she goes, "Oh." So then he goes, "How did you like?" And he said the name of a trail. And he's looking at her, and Josselyn's looking at him. And she goes, "I loved that hike." And he goes, "Okay." He's thinking, "You're lying. You wasn't there." Because the name he said, he probably made it up. And he's just looking at her. But Jack Brennan comes in the back door. And Josselyn quickly changes the subject because, for one, Jason kind of had her in the hot seat. And she ain't never been there. So she can't answer any question on the place. So she then turns her sights on Jack Brennan. And Jack is like, "Oh, am I interrupting?" See, he came in the kitchen front door, Carly. When Josselyn came home, she came in the regular front door of the house. And the funny thing is, when Josselyn left, she left out the regular front door of the house, where everybody else left out of the kitchen front door of the house, which was interesting. So, anyway, she's given Jack the third degree about her mother, just like she gives Sonny, just like, Josselyn was being true to Josselyn with, "Why are you seeing my mother? Why, the whole 9 yards. Are you going to keep my mother safe?" And she was just on him. And Carly was looking like, "Josselyn?" And Josselyn was being Josselyn. So he goes, "Well, listen, I will answer all your questions, but I really need to speak to Mr. Morgan first." So he takes Jason around the corner and he goes, You may want to check in with Anna." And Jason looked at him. He goes, "Okay." And he walks back. He goes, "You know what, guys, I got to leave." So Jason leaves. Now, before Jack got there, he was with Anna. And he told her, "Anna, the acting well, ADA, whatever her name is, ADA Turner is after you. And Anna said, I figured as much. Because she's really after my granddaughter Emma, and I think she feels this is the way to get what she wants. He goes, no. She asked the WSB to send her everything we have on you, all your files. And she looked at him and she said, and did you send them? He said, oh, absolutely, yes, we did. But after we redacted everything that's classified, which was pretty much everything, all she got was your birth date. you know? So Anna looked at her. He goes, but she's after you. And mainly it's because of the company you keeping. And she's like, what is that supposed to mean? He goes, you know exactly what that's supposed to mean. I'm just here to let you know, watch your back. Because, and he looked, if she digs hard enough, she might find something. And Anna knows that too. He goes, she wants to remove you as commissioner. Mm. So anyway, Anna calls ADA in and she point blank tells her, yeah, I am. You're not fit to be commissioner. You look the other way. She goes, Jason Morgan was arrested for the murder of Cyrus Renault. He was released after 72 hours or 48 hours. No charges were brought against him, even though we had evidence. Anna says, what evidence? 2 strands of his hair. But yet there was no other evidence in that cabin. Anna looked at her and says, as a matter of fact, there wasn't any evidence that a crime was even committed in that cabin. Just like we said, everybody. No blood from Cyrus, nothing. Nothing. She goes, you absolutely could not get a conviction from that. We don't know that there was a crime. She goes, you have she named something else. You've looked the other way with Sonny Corinthos, this Valentine she's naming all this, and Anna goes, I don't look the other way, and I do my job to the fullest. And then there's your granddaughter, she says, and I arrested my granddaughter. I brought her in, so I don't know what you're talking about. You can look into my past all you want, but you're not going to get anything. So she looked at Anna and she says, well, I tell you this. Now that DA Scorpio is away on leave, he's not here to stop me now that I'm taking his place. And Anna just looked at her and she walked out. So Jason, I guess he called Anna. They met at the park, which is what they're doing up in that picture there. And they said that they can't be seen in public together. She told her what the ADA is doing, ADA Turner. And he goes, okay. He goes, be discreet. She goes, she's trying to take my job and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, but I value our friendship. And he goes, so do I. But we, listen, Anna, if I do, she goes, so please stay out of trouble. And he looked at her and he goes, if you have evidence on anything that I do, arrest me, Anna. Bring me in, do your job. See, he didn't say, okay. He's like, it's not like, catch me if you can. That's pretty much what he was saying. Do your job, because I'm not going to ask you to look the other way. Jason is like, please, I got Killer Miller. Diane, get out of here. PCPD is incompetent and pretty much so are you, chick. So you do your job. I'll make sure I'm taken care of. So then she goes, but I still like working together. And he goes, so do I. He goes, so if we need to meet, we can meet upstairs in my room at Kelly's. No one will see us there. And she goes, okay, that's a good place. That's a good place. And I'm thinking, uh-oh. When he said that, y'all, what went through your mind? Because I know what went through mine. Uh-oh, they gonna sleep together up in there. Lord have mercy. Mm, we shall see. So that let's see what else. Oh, Lucy was asking folks about the nurses ball. So you want to know what I did every time I saw her? Fast forward that I could care less about Lucy. Fast forward. And Josselyn, she went home to, well, her apartment with Trina. So she saw Trina and they're hugging because, they haven't seen each other in forever. So that was it, everybody. That's enough that I'm going to talk about. Let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. I'm going to start from the bottom going up on comment corner. From the bottom up, I'm going to get my trusty dusty stopwatch out and do about 7 minutes. Here we go. Now we have Lucy says, happy weekend, GH fans. And then we have I am says, they have Jason warning Carly like she does. Okay, like what? Like she warns him. And then Care Bear says, I think Jack cares about Carly in his own way, but she remains a means to reach Sunny and Jason. And he doesn't mind trapping Joss into the WSB. Oh, one thing Jack told her, he goes, ooh, good cover coming at me like that about seeing your mother. Because Carly went to go get a gift that Donna had for Josselyn. And she looked at him, she goes, who said that was a cover? He just looked at her like, wait, what? Shh, shh. She's like, please, you might be my boss when you supposed to be, but right now you're in my mama house, and I'm gonna treat you the way I treat everybody that I think's a danger. So he just looked at her like, okay, Jax. So anyway, and he does let's see. Which no one talked about he didn't care about framing Jason for Cyrus's murder, which nobody cares about anymore, or even John Cates's murder. Carly's false testimony, or the mysteriously reappearing weapon. I know we still don't know how that happened to exonerate Alexis. Did the writers drop these stories? Yes, they did. Absolutely, yes, they did. But Brennan was right about uh, Cyrus. He told Josselyn, yeah, we planted it to turn the suspicion away from you. What we planted to frame Morgan, Morgan will not go to prison on. Period. He will easily beat that. And Brennan was right. He was 100% right about that. And then we have Black Purple Turquoise says, I know Jason wants to protect Carly, and I genuinely love their friendship myself, but he's going to have to let this whole warning her away from Brennan go. Carly is stubborn and can't see how dangerous, in my opinion, far more dangerous than he and Sunny are. Jack truly is. She has learned the hard way. She has to learn the hard way. Carly never learns. To learn the hard way. And after she finds out all of the stuff he's been doing behind her back, starting to recruit Josselyn into the WSB and becoming an agent while using her grief over Dex as a catalyst to do so. I'm sure sooner rather than later, she'll finally see everyone was right about Brennan all along. Then that will end the relationship. P. Merle says, like Jason, I hope she lives long enough to be enlightened. And then Melody says, yep, I think today they work that out now. Okay. And then we have, let me go up to this comment here, starts right there. Lucy says, I'm waiting for Carly to see the real Jack Brennan and find out what the WSB station chief, Brennan, has done. And then Care Bear says she trusts him because he helped her with Lucky and Michael. She thinks Jason and Sunny are concern is more like jealousy, but she should know that if Brennan is dangerous, he really, if they think, say Brennan is dangerous, he really is. They know what they're talking about. Cardi, whatever. DB says, going to take a minute since she's busy feeling alive. I know, right? That's what she said. Kerber said to DB, alive, feeling alive with Brennan, knowing she almost died because of him. She has a short and selective memory. Oro says, when Carly realizes that Jack only started their situation ship to detract her from being in Josselyn's life so that he can recruit her to be a baby spy, she's going to flip out. Jason and Lucas and Sunny were right. Just when you thought Carly had matured, she reverts to type. She reverts to type and goes for the dangerous guy who will take care of her. Like I said before, ugh, RME. And then Lucy says to Oro says Carly changed her name to Spencer to start anew. She's the same old Carly. And then Care Bear says, Chrissy says to Care Bear, you never feel more alive than when you almost died. Okay. And then Sewing Room says, fun fact, the actor who plays Jensen 188 Turner are married, a married couple in real life. That is an interesting fact. Lucy says, yes, I read that somewhere. Small world for those two. And then Melody says, huh, really? And DB says, nice looking couple. Jens is a snack. Oh, is he? He's a little snack. And then Casey says, will Ava find the files that Liz gave Rick in the car? P. Merrill says she probably read them. Rick left them at her Ava's house. Yeah. Melody says, wow, I forgot about them. And he probably did leave them there because that's not anything Ava can't see. Ava knows the whole story about Portia being blackmailed. And then the last comment and the last replies I'm going to read. Lucy says, my favorite GH Friday episode scene was when Kristina was praying aloud in the chapel. Then in walks her mom and Molly. I said, oh, uh-oh. Molly heard her sister saying she was the one that caused Rick's car wreck, but Molly didn't hear that part of Kristina's prayer. Of course not. Melody says, I wish she had. Glad Ava is having Rick's car checked. Lucy says, yes, the mechanic discovered the brake lines was cut and he told Ava. Melody says to Lucy, oh, I didn't catch that. Thanks. And then Magdalena says to Melody, I love your comment. Oh, that was good. That was nice of you. And then Magdalena says to Lucy, thank you for responding. I've been a GH fan for 57 years. Many blessings, Maggie. Wow. That is a long, long time, Magdalena. Thank you for chiming in on Comment Corner. I want to see more comments. We have quite a few comments today, which is the way it should be, everybody. Keep commenting on everybody else's comments. Have some dialogue. This is where we catch up on information. We get old facts straight. Some things we didn't know about, we find out about, but that's what Comment Corner is all about. So I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap for General Hospital.